Hi everyone, my name is Mollie Caldwell and I'm doing my case study for the biosphere unit on cane toads, which are an invasive species. This picture right here is a cane toad. They are considered invasive species because they are poisonous to anything that ingests them or even licks them. Cane toads are large and sticky amphibians with dry skin. They are considered omnivores. Their average lifespan is 5 to 10 years. They are typically around 4 to 6 inches long and their average weight is 2.9 pounds. They are currently found in areas in the southern United States, Central America, tropical South America, and Australia. The cane toad is an invasive species that is native to South and Central America. They were introduced to Australia in 1935 to help fight off the cane beetles that were destroying the sugarcane crops. About 102 South American cane toads went to Australia from Puerto Rico to fight off these cane beetles. However, they completely failed to do this job and ended up just spreading across Australia rapidly. This map shows the current known distribution of cane toads in dark green, and then in light green you can see the predicted distribution of cane toads in Australia. The cane toads have spread rapidly and are now numbering more than 1.5 billion. This is largely because cane toads are able to lay up to 30,000 eggs twice a year. Now, the effects of the cane toad are that they're poisonous to anything that ingests or licks them. The Australian citizens primarily have been affected, and they've also affected the Australian government's budget. The cane toad is very poisonous and can potentially kill anything that ingests or licks them. Some animals have learned to avoid these amphibians, but others have not been able to learn that yet. The poison that the toads contain affects the heart and central nervous system of the animal affected. So the Australian citizens are affected because they have to keep an eye out on their animals constantly to make sure they're staying away from these cane toads so that they do not die. They have also been instructed by the government to kill cane toads when they come across them, so they're always on the lookout for these hated amphibians. Additionally, the Australian government has been quite affected by these cane toads because they are having to deal with how to control them. The Australian government has spent so far around 20 million Australian dollars on toad control, and this is about equivalent to 17 million US dollars. This money is going towards steadily reducing the impacts of cane toads across the continent and developing a national cane toad plan to reduce the number of cane toads. There is a numerous amount of research going into the development of sustainable control measures. And the biosphere, I have written here, considering the biosphere is simply the layer of Earth where life exists, it's evident that the cane toads affect the biosphere. It's made up of Earth where life exists, which is all ecosystems, and that is how the cane toads are coming to play a large role because they're affecting the ecosystem, specifically in Australia, and there are many animals that have seen a decline in population due to being killed by the cane toad. They're playing a very large role in the ecosystems across Australia. They've become so successful in adapting to the Australian environment because there are not many predators there that can sustain the toad's poison. For example, the Gianna lizards have seen a decrease in population due to eating the poisonous toads. Additionally, some of the native snakes in Australia have seen a decline in population. Most of these snakes are not big enough to swallow the cane toads, but just by licking them or attempting to eat them can have a poisonous effect and kill the snakes. And lastly, the quoll had been a major concern in Australia as it is continuously getting closer and closer to being put on the endangerment list. And some animals have successfully learned to avoid the cane toad, like I mentioned earlier, but some animals just have not been lucky enough to learn and implement this information. There are many other animals across Australia that have been greatly affected by the presence of the cane toad. And this is my citation page. Here are 4 of the 6 websites I used. Here are the other 2. Thank you.